The truth is that I picked out this dress because I knew it would make you assume that I'm happy, that I'm on top of things. But things aren't always as you think. Often I'm so mentally beaten that I have to turn my underwear inside out because I don't have any energy to do my laundry. On other days, I'm so OCD that I can't get my apartment clean enough. And at the same time, showering is not a part of my daily routine. If I dressed the part as the extremely mentally ill girl that I am, you wouldn't take me seriously. But that's just my prejudice against you. My prejudices are based on my experiences, and your prejudices are based on yours. Our ancestors used snap judgments to know when to run, to detect dangerous situations. I did the same thing on my Tinder date last week. Snap judgments are still useful as a tool, but we don't always realize when we're prejudiced. Have some of you ever thought that mentally ill people are just lazy? Why don't they just pull themselves together? Well, I could understand why one would think that. I've done exactly the same thing. We judge people without knowing anything about them. I don't think we can help it. Prejudice is a part of our brain's way to help us navigate, but those prejudices aren't always fully true. Here's an example. People with OCD like structure and cleans all the time. Here's a picture of my medical records. It's in Danish, and it says OCD right here. And here's a picture of my apartment. People with OCD doesn't necessarily always like structure and cleans all the time. I might be a self-pronounced expert in prejudice, but I'm not better than any of you. Despite being mentally ill myself, I'm still prejudiced towards other mentally ill people. Some of my prejudices are that people on antidepressants are just ignoring their problems. People on sick leave are giving up on life. And people with borderline personality disorder are dramatic, self-harming, and a bit too eccentric. I'm clinically diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, happily on sick leave, and I've been on 5 different types of antidepressants. But my brain has made up its mind, and it can be tricky to change that. Why should we care about our prejudice, you might ask? Well, for the past 2 years, my prejudices have held me back from getting better from my mental disorders because I was convinced that only really crazy people got admitted to the psychiatric hospital. But when you're crazy enough, I don't eat on purpose to punish myself. I don't feel like I deserve a shower because I feel like I'm a worthless human being. And in some periods, I don't leave my apartment for 4 days because if I leave, I'm 100% certain that I'll die. And thank you. That makes it practically impossible for me to take care of myself. In December, even though my daily life was a struggle, I often caught myself thinking, am I sick enough to get hospitalized at a psychiatric hospital? And I always came to the conclusion, it is only really crazy people who do so. And let me just remind you what I just said. I don't shower because I don't feel I deserve to. Who doesn't deserve a shower? I even talked to my mom about if she thought I should get admitted to the psychiatric hospital. And she always said, it's not a place for a girl like you. It's not safe. Then one day I had a doctor's appointment. I sat there in my dirty underwear, hungry and hadn't had a shower for 3 days when my doctor asked me, have you ever thought about getting admitted to the psychiatric hospital? I couldn't lie, so I told her yes. My second response was, Are you sure I'm sick enough? I was in the hospital for nearly 2 months. It turned out my mom wasn't right. It was just the right place for me. There's definitely a lot of sick people in there, I'm not gonna lie. I've been there 5 times since, and sometimes it is a scary place. But most days are spent with watching morning shows on the television, making 1,000-piece puzzles, and most importantly, getting better. My prejudice held me back from getting better from my mental disorders. A lesson learned should be a lesson shared, and that's the reason why I'm standing here today. I'm not saying you should go get yourself admitted to a psychiatric hospital. I'm not going there on my next vacation either. I'm just saying that we need to be aware of when we act or judge based on prejudice instead of facts. And sometimes, just like my case, we have to go against our prejudice to find out that they aren't true. We're all prejudiced, but our prejudice might be holding us back from asking a stranger for help, getting to know someone with another political standpoint than ourselves, or getting something we needed in our life. We judge people all the time, and that's just fine. The problem is when we don't challenge those perceptions of the world, when we accept our prejudice as true. And to challenge those perceptions, we need to risk a bit of ourselves. We need to put ourselves in a situation where we might be perceived as foolish, stupid, or even mean. Because we need to ask the questions about the prejudice we have that might seem ignorant, to find out if there's something new to learn. Hopefully, you've already been doing that today, or at the very least, learned that a person who is diagnosed with OCD doesn't necessarily have a super clean, tidy, and organized room.